Suffering for Jesus. We are always being given over to death for Jesus' sake.
Paul explains that Christian ministry focuses on proclaiming Jesus as Lord, not self, with leaders acting as humble servants. He uses the metaphor of jars of clay, human fragility, to hold the treasure, the gospel, demonstrating that spiritual power comes from God, not human strength, even amid suffering.
The focus of preaching. Paul clarifies that his ministry is not self-promotion, but the proclamation of Jesus Christ. The same God who created light in Genesis brings spiritual light into human hearts to reveal the glory of God through Christ.
Treasure in jars of clay. The treasure is the gospel message and the glory of God. Earthen vessels, or jars of clay, represent human weakness, vulnerability, and mortality. This contrast shows that the transforming power of the gospel is entirely from God, not from the human messenger.
Strength through weaknesses. Paul experiences extreme pressures, troubled, perplexed, persecuted, and cast down, yet he is not crushed or destroyed. This shows that divine strength is perfected in human weakness. The dying and life of Jesus. Paul views his suffering as bearing the dying of the Lord Jesus. This suffering is not in vain. It allows the life of Jesus to be manifested in his mortal body. He argues that death, suffering, is working in him so that life, the gospel, can work in the Corinthians. Center for Excellence in Preaching. Humility in ministry. True spiritual leadership focuses on Christ, not personal popularity. The gospel's power. The message is powerful because it is God's, not because of the skill of the person delivering it. Humility. God uses flawed, weak, and ordinary people to spread the gospel so he gets the glory.
Paul, ministering, faced constant dangers, persecution, and self-denial for the sake of preaching the gospel, mirroring Christ's suffering. This daily surrender serves to demonstrate that the life-transforming power comes from God, not self. Paul endured in his ministry to daily death, physical dangers, exhaustion, and intense suffering. For Jesus' sake. This suffering is not due to personal misfortune, but is endured to advance the gospel and serve the church. Life of Jesus manifested. Paul remains faithful despite persecution. The resurrection power of Jesus is visible within human weakness, mortality, showing that the work is empowered by God. Life
Death
of
works
Jesus
in us,
manifested.
life in you.
Paul remains
Version 12.
faithful despite
The leader's
persecution.
suffering and self-denial
The
produced
resurrection
spiritual
power of
life
Jesus
and growth
is visible
for the
within
believers
human
they serve.
weakness, mortality, showing that the work is empowered
Paul
by
physical
God.
decay and suffering for Christ, death,
Become the vehicle for revealing his power and resurrection life in a believer's mortal body. 2 Corinthians teaches believers are fragile like jars of clay, containing the precious treasure of the gospel. All surpassing power belongs to God, not human strength. Paul serves others, endured suffering, and reflecting Jesus' life through the endurance of hardships, showing that divine life works through human. Enduring through suffering, believers are often hard-pressed, perplexed, or struck down. They are not destroyed, because God sustains them through their trials. The gospel is a treasure in earthen vessels, come from God, not human. Spiritual insight. It signifies that God shines through human flaws and brokenness rather than perfection, using our trials to reveal his light. Encourage to embrace weaknesses as areas where growth, light, and resilience emerge. The Japanese art of kintsugi, where broken pottery is mended with gold. This perspective embraces imperfections to create something more beautiful and resilient than before. Beauty in imperfection. Repaired items are more beautiful for having been broken. Light shines through a cracked vessel, finding strength, beauty, and purpose in imperfection, like the Japanese art of kintsugi, where broken pottery is repaired with gold. It suggests that personal struggles, vulnerabilities, or cracks enable inner light and authenticity to shine through, transforming brokenness into a source of hope and strength. Key takeaways. The goal is serving others for Jesus' sake. God intentionally uses weak, human vessels to receive all glory. The suffering Christian's face can manifest Christ's life, making the gospel a living reality to others. Believers suffer allowed Christ's life and power to be manifested through his frail, human existence.